Welcome, grade 10 economics. Grade 10, we are meeting again. Thank you so much for connecting to Metric Hub. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking and commenting in our channel. Today, we want to talk about unemployment. As you see, we are almost at the end of the year. Let's get ready. Let's just complete the year in style. So without wasting any time, we want to talk about unemployment. First and foremost, we should be able to define what is unemployment, and then we look into major causes of unemployment. We look into concepts that are relative to employment. There are key terminologies that we are going to to define, and which are going to be used throughout the subject or the concept or the topic of unemployment. So unemployment basically it refers to the state of being jobless. Being jobless, it relates to a state of being jobless, but willing and able to work. The person is not working, but he is willing and is able to work and actively seeking employment. So when we talk about unemployment, the person or the individual is jobless, is not working. However, he is willing and he is able to work. Also, the person is actively seeking employment. The person is actively engaged in getting employed. So it is a situation where a person who wants a job cannot find it. Somebody is looking for employment but cannot find the job, cannot find the opportunity with the specific criteria often applied for official situations or official definitions, such as taking active steps to look for the work. The person is taking active steps. There are some activities, there are some engagement that the person is doing in order to get work within a recent time frame or within a specific time frame. So over a period of time, someone is looking for a job, is not getting it, is willing and is able and is actively seeking for that work. Therefore, when that person is jobless, we define that as unemployment. And again, we are saying the unemployment rate then measures the percentage of total labor force that is unemployed. When we talk about unemployment rate, it measures the percentage. We are looking at the percentage as in terms of an index that identifies the total number of people who are unemployed. So we are going to look into that. We're going to explain and show the calculations of how do we get unemployment rate. In this case, I just want you to understand that unemployment is one of the economic indicators again that we use in the understanding and analysis of economic development in a country. A country to be scaled and to be rated in terms of the level of development, it is also assessed on the basis to which it is able to create jobs. It is able to absorb its people who have got qualifications, who are willing to work, who are able to work, and the ability of that nation to give those people jobs. We can also define we can also define the state of development. It is an economic indicator within a context of uh, economic analysis. So we want to look into major concepts, major terminologies. We are saying major concepts. We can talk about major terminology that also goes hand in hand with with this subject that we are discussing now. There is what is called economically active population. Define economically active population. uh, it is actually a segment of population that comprises of people between the age of 15 to 65 who are willing and able to work. So what is happening is that the people are able to work, and we are saying it's a composition of individuals within a category of being able to work and willing to work who are within a country. So we are looking at a demographic percentage of people who are able to work and who are within the age of 15 to 65, given the opportunity, those people can be able to work. They can be able to contribute in terms of production, in terms of labor, personnel, and so forth. So that is what we mean by economically active. We are saying economically because they are contributing to the economic generation, to the wealth development of a country, wealth generation of a nation. We call that economically active population. So we are saying a demographic representation of individuals comprising of the age of 15 to 65 who are able and willing to work. And then we can also want to understand the narrow definition of unemployment. There is what is called narrow definition of unemployment, which we need to understand that is people who are part of the economically active population are not working and have been looking for work in the past 4 weeks and are able to work within a week. So we are saying it's a narrow definition of unemployment. We are looking at within the time frame. We are looking at it within some time context. So it is uh, a proportion of individuals who are within the economically active population and then who are not working. However, they've been looking for work in the past 4 weeks. So we are saying they've been looking for work in a month, over a month. They've been looking for work over a month and are available to work within a week. So if opportunity arises, they are able to work within a month. They are able to assume work within a week. Sorry. So that is a narrow definition of what of unemployment. We also have a broad definition which also accounts on people who are part of the economically active population not working even if they have given up looking they are not working and even they have given up looking for employment. They have given up. Those people have given up even they've given up looking for employment. So this is a broad definition. These people have not been working. They are within the age to work. They've got the energy. They've got the ability. They are willing to work. But however, they are not working. And they've been looking for employment for so long. And now they identify themselves as redundant. They identify themselves as being unable to get employment. So what happens there is that these individuals, they give up. They are no longer engaged in looking for employment. So we define them as a broad group of unemployed individuals. And then unemployment rate is the percentage of the active, economically active population that is unemployed within a specific area or demographic group. So unemployment rate, it actually looks at a percentage out of 100. We are looking at it at a percentage out of 100 of the economically active population that is unemployed within a specific area. We are looking at it. It can be calculated provincially. It can be calculated provincially. It can be calculated nationally, and it can be calculated at a continent level again, at a regional level, regionally. So we are saying within a specific area or a demographic group also. So when we are calculating unemployment rate, it is number of unemployed over economically active population. How many of those people who are unemployed calculate the unemployment rate? I'm saying you should be able to calculate unemployment rate. You should be able to calculate unemployment rate. How do you calculate that? You should be able to calculate unemployment rate by identifying the number who are unemployed, how many people are unemployed over economically active population multiplied by 100 over 1, and then we get the what? We can get the unemployment rate. We can get the unemployment rate if that is done. You understand? We can be able to calculate the unemployment rate. The rate can be calculated. Remember that the rate is normally calculated in terms of a percentage. So we have got public works program Public Works program is actually government initiative to provide short-term employment. Public Works program, it actually focuses on, it is actually a government initiative, a government plan, a government intervention that is designed to provide employment, provide short-term employment. It is normally done through expanded public works, which you normally find out that government operates or identify some programs that can be run or that can be implemented or that can be done within some areas, so that individuals who are within those areas can actually be given opportunities to work and to be hired there, irregardless sometimes of qualifications. You might find out that most of the times public works programs are designed for people without or with limited qualifications or skills. So it is designed to absorb the numbers of individuals who are not working. And then we have got structural unemployment. Structural employment, it is caused by mismatch between the skills the employers require and the skills that employees offer. So it is structured because an individual has got certain skills, but the employer has got a certain particular skill that he also demands or that he requires. So what we are saying is that it actually results in what? It is actually a mismatch that arises between the employee and the employer skills base. So now we define that as structural unemployment. Somebody has got skills, but the skills that he or she has or that he or she possesses does not match what the industry or what the employment sector or what the employment whatever that is needed by the employers. And then we have got what is called unemployment insurance fund. It is actually an amount of money that provides to pay benefits to persons who have lost their jobs, which is normally defined as UIF. UIF normally it's actually a 2%, which comes from 1% employer, 1% comes from the employer, and also plus 1%, which is also contributed by the employee. The employee also contributes 1%, which is normally given when a person is unemployed and is claimed through the Department of Labor. So what we need to understand is that UIF is an employment insurance fund, which when a person lost a job, the benefits or payment plans that are put in place by government in order to ensure that people are not severely strained and suffocated by the conditions of being unemployed. So, and then we can now basically look at economically marginalized groups. When we talk about marginalized and there is an economically marginalized group, we look at individuals or a segment of people, usually rural people. It is usually rural people. It can also be women. It can also be handicapped persons. It can also be older or elderly people and also school leavers. These groups of people, we are saying they are actually deprived of opportunities in terms of employment. Normally requires, what we need to understand is that these groups of people normally uh, they normally require government intervention. Government intervention is needed. They need government intervention. They need government help in order for them to get employed. They need government help for them to get employed. That is what you need to understand. So that is economically marginalized groups of people. It can be because of either ethnicity, it can be because of any other segregation of classes or categories that can be put in place, which we can say that these groups of people, they are normally a minority group of people, which when it comes to economic access or economic equality, they don't have equal treatment. They have got no equal appraisal is required or as compared to the total population or individuals within a country. So normally government must take intervention. Government must come with some legislative instruments, should come with some control strategies that empower them, that actually enforce employers to put them or to give them opportunities. So therefore they can be employed or can be hired. We can look at unemployment figures. Unemployment figures. We look. This actually looks at how figures, how individuals or population statistics is changing with regards to numbers of people who are unemployed. So it actually in South Africa we can look at it rose by 0.3 percentage points. In South Africa, our unemployment figures are increased by 0.3 percentage points, which actually cost lending it to uh, 33.2%. 33.2% is our latest or current unemployment figures, is also with women facing significantly higher percentage of 35.9%. As we have seen there, we talked about women being economically marginalized or being in a group of people who are economically marginalized. If you can see here again, you find out that we have got a 35.9% of women being unemployed compared to 31% in men, according to quarterly labor force survey. So the labor force survey 2025, it actually presents that we have got a 35.9% of women who are unemployed compared to 31.0% of men, which shows that women are highly unemployed. We can maybe also classify that and confirm that they are an economically marginalized group. So unemployment figures are obtained we can obtain unemployment figures. Our unemployment figures can be obtained through census, which is the general counting of individuals or population within a country. Census can help us to find unemployment figures. We can also use population survey, like we talked about the quarterly labor survey, which is done by the labor department. It gives us unemployment figures. We talk about registrations of unemployed with Department of Labor, registration of unemployed with the Department of Labor. It can also help us in terms of identifying unemployment figures. It can also be sample survey, which can also be, like I said again, that can be quarterly labor force survey, which they do as per quarterly in order to understand the population demographics and also employment statistics of the nation as a whole. We can also look at Statistics South Africa, which is called Stats SA. It actually records and keeps data and information pertaining to uh, various economic indicators within a country, which we can also say that employment forms part in the Department of Labor is responsible for monitoring unemployment. So the Department of Labor is actually one specific one specific department that is in charge of ensuring that or in monitoring and evaluation employment issues. So understanding employment in South Africa actually is involving defining different unemployment types. We need to understand types of unemployment, such as seasonal, we have got frictional and cyclical unemployment. So we are saying in order to understand unemployment in South Africa, there are different types of unemployment which actually manifest themselves, which we must need to understand first and analyze their causes, like limited education. We can talk about limited education, which is talk about qualifications, lack of qualifications becoming a limitation in employment. We talk about economic downturns. We talk about, e.g., the pandemic lockdowns, the aftermath of COVID-19, the aftermath of COVID-19 remains still, I mean, is still significantly being felt by citizens in terms of the livelihoods of people as in a country as a whole. So solutions need to consider include public works program and investing in small businesses. Investing in small businesses also becomes another measure that can also be put in place in terms of what uh, combating unemployment, improving skills and education using initiatives like unemployment insurance fund, which is UIF. We're saying that are measures of reducing that. And the impact of unemployment includes increased poverty and a strain on social services. Social services, we talk about uh, heavy dependence, heavy dependency of citizens on government support. We talk about social grants. These social grants are quite challenging. They are actually suffocating or draining the already uh, overwhelmed national budget where government still needs to provide, whereas it doesn't have that. So we want to look at types of unemployment, types, types of unemployment, types of unemployment. Let's look at seasonal unemployment. Seasonal unemployment, which occurs when people are unemployed at a certain time, at certain times of the year due to seasonal demand changes. We can talk about tourism and retail industries, which normally boom, e.g., booming during festive seasons. Festive. So you find out that the hotel and catering or hospitality industry, it's a seasonal business which tends to be very big and blossoming during festive season, but otherwise after festive season, employment and industry becomes low. So what we need to understand is that that is a seasonal unemployment. We also talk about it even in agriculture, e.g., we can also talk about agriculture. We talk about during the harvesting period, people get jobs. Many people are hired during harvesting or they are hired during planting season. When the season is over, then we don't have or they tend to be unemployed. We can talk about even in this agricultural season, let's talk about tobacco industry, where people are going to sell. When people are selling and harvesting tobacco, there are quite a lot of jobs. But at the time when it is no auction sales, when tobacco floors are closed, quite a number of people are not employed. Hence, it actually results in what? It actually results in what? In unemployment. And then we have got two frictional unemployment, temporary unemployment of people who are between jobs is temporary. It is temporary unemployment of people who are between jobs and are first entering the labor market. It is they are between jobs and they are first entering the labor market. It also occurs when when workers or employees are changing jobs or has resigned in order to search for a new job. So it's a frictional unemployment. So what happens that is temporary. People are between jobs, moving from one job to another. It can be also because they are these individuals who are entering in the job market for the first time. So they need to settle and get themselves uh, acclimatized and understand the job industry or the industry as a whole. So what we need to understand is that we can look at them frequently or highly or regularly resigning because they are still trying to find themselves or find the best place for themselves. So in that respect, we can also we should understand that that is called frictional unemployment. And then cyclical unemployment arises due to economic downturns. You see, we are talking about cyclical. It means that it is occurring during economic downturns where there is a general decrease in economic activity. A general decrease in economic activity results in what? In slowing down, or results in decrease in demand for labor. The demand for labor tends to go down because of some economic downturns. So we are saying times when economic activities or industrial production is low, production is generally low. When it is generally low, when production is generally low, what happens is that we have got what situations which can result in what? In unemployment. So demand for labor is less because there is no finances to pay them. There is no plowing back of profits to expand businesses. So unemployment due to lack of demand for labor during downswings of the business cycle results in what we call cyclical unemployment. Uh, Demand for labor has gone down because of the negativity or because of the failures that we are seeing in economic performances of specific industries. So, or as an economy as a whole. I want us to look at causes of unemployment in South Africa, causes of unemployment, causes of unemployment in South Africa, causes of unemployment, causes of unemployment. Uh, it is actually a complex issue influenced by various factors. In South Africa, if we look at unemployment, it is actually affected by a multiple of factors, which we can otherwise look at as economic growth rate. There is slow economic growth limits job creation opportunities. Economic growth, it actually limits job creation opportunities. Population growth rate in South Africa is generally high. We have got high population growth than economic growth rate. So the rate at which population is increasing is generally too high than the employment creation opportunities. So meaning the economy is not expanding quickly enough to absorb people. Economy is not expanding quickly enough uh, to absorb or to create jobs for all economically active individuals. So therefore, they can enter into the job market in each year. So we can look at this as we can actually identify and match it to or equate it to the number of graduates that are released from various training institutions, which these individuals expect to get jobs. Unfortunately, the industry is not creating or is not offering such opportunities. And then skills mismatch is also number two, is another cause of unemployment, which is a gap between skills possessed by job seekers and those that are required by the what? By the employer, which we said again, it is structural unemployment, skills possession by job seekers versus those which are employers' demands or which are on employers' demand. I defined that again before as what? As structural unemployment. So many economically active individuals in South Africa do not have the right skills for job in a sophisticated economy. The economy is radically changing. We have got new technologies. We have got new ways of doing business, which are a situation worsened by the leaders of apartheid again, to say that most of the black people were not skilled. We talk about the limited skills. We talk about achievements in education, which initially it was segregatory measures or segregatory systems which were put in place in which certain ethnic groups and representations of individuals were not given opportunities to go to school as equally the same as others, which restricted access to quality education. Apartheid restricted access to quality education, restricted access to quality education and training for large section of people in South Africa. So therefore, we have got a skills mismatch that occurs or that exists within our economy, resulting in many people not being employed. We have got high population growth rate. High population growth rate. Our people are basically our population is just increasing. An increasing population leads to more job seekers than available positions, and then the population growth rate surpasses the economic growth rate, resulting in surplus job seekers. So we have got an inverse relationship that is occurring on job seekers versus the available positions. So we have got more of job seekers. We have got many of them, excess of them. We have got excess of job seekers, and then we have got limited and employment opportunities are limited. In that respect, it means that the population growth rates it exceeded. Population growth rate exceeds. It actually exceeds the economic growth rate, which actually should create employment opportunities. It exceeds the growth rate, resulting in surplus job seekers, or resulting in many people being unemployed, resulting in many people being unemployed. So it is one of the situations that we need to look at. And then structural changes is another cause. Structural changes in the economy, such as the shift from agriculture to services. So we have got a shift, we have got a diversion, we have got a new paradigm shift which is taking place, whereby our economy has used to be an agrarian, or it was in a primary focused economy, and then now it is becoming a tertiary or manufacturing based economy. So that can also displace workers. We have got these people do not have the necessary or the required skills which can make them to fit into the new economic sector opportunities that are arising. So structural unemployment is prevalent due to mismatch between the skills that we talked about. It's quite dominant. It's so dominant. Is so dominant due to mismatch between the skills that employers require and the skills that employees offer. I guess this we've already discussed and explained that it actually creates what we call structural unemployment. And then we can also talk about education system, where there is inadequate education and training system fail to equip individuals with necessary skills. Our vocational tertiary education systems are not giving the necessary skills that are needed with regards to practicalities, or with regards to opportunities that must be that are available in the job market. So the restructuring of educational and tertiary institutions in South Africa has not been sufficiently vocationally oriented, leading to a situation where school leavers, even graduates, struggle to find employment. So therefore, what we can say is that we have seen, for example, e.g., we have got a change in many programs. Many programs have changed and has migrated from those dominant traditional job positions or professions into new, recent, modern qualifications. We can talk about e.g. in IT. We no longer have those traditional like end user system development and also those ones. We now have most common trades, which are such as cyber security. We talk about robotics, among others, which are common and modern, which are quite modern trends or modern trades that people can have now. So graduates who are having traditional positions or traditional qualifications, they struggle to get jobs, and then uh, there is and lack of sufficient education skills to meet the needs of the job market, even if people are qualified. People are graduates, but they don't have vocational oriented. So in other words, we are saying we should, the education system need to promote self-reliance. That is e.g. entrepreneurship, which people have to start their own business. We talk about skills development in term and unlike qualifications, unlike just mere qualifications, skills programs. We are saying skills programs need to be put in place. Skills programs need to be put in place, which we are saying they are vocational oriented. They are vocational qualifications, vocational qualifications tend to be necessary in this case. Vocational qualifications need to be in place. So therefore, what we need to understand is that these are quite important points which would enable school leavers, which would enable graduates to be employable. So lastly, I want us to look at the economic conditions. Economic conditions, factors such as economic downturns, reduced growth, and intensified load shedding lead to job losses. I'm sure that you have heard now recently. We have the recent appointment. We can give e.g. recent appointment of Minister of Electricity. Minister of Electricity is an effort towards effort to reduce load shedding. It's an effort to reduce load shedding, which is negatively affecting our what? Which is negatively impacting on our businesses. So load shedding, what does it do? Load shedding reduces it reduces productivity. It reduces productivity, and then when productivity is lost, we lose profit, we lose revenue, and then obviously resulting in job losses, job cuts, the economy, uh, entrepreneurs, businesses, and our investors. They lose, they end up losing on that. So it is all factors that also need to be understood when we look into the effects of economic conditions, such as the worsening of load shedding and also other economic downturns, which are also still in this context, the COVID-induced situations and challenges that we still have in our businesses. Uh, we want to look at labor market policies. Labor market policies are also factors that are also affecting our employment. Labor market policies, which is also another rigid labor laws, can discourage hiring and lead to high unemployment rates. It is discouraged. We talk about the BEE. We talk about affirmative actions also. Affirmative action These are labor market policies, affirmative action. There are also labor market policies that need to be understood. Labor market, we are saying affirmative action. There are also quite policies including minimum wage laws, other regulatory measures, instruments that discourages hiring and also makes hiring too expensive, then resulting in what? In people being not employed. Of course, we need to understand and discuss it in the context that in what does it do? It avoids uh, exploitation. It actually safeguard labor to avoid exploitation of them, avoid exploitation of labor. These labor laws or labor policies, in any case, they are very important anyway. And then economic inequality and equal distribution of economic resources like income, wealth within a society can also encompass inequality of opportunities when people have got asymmetrical access to economic resources, such as we talk about the income and wealth. It actually also affects individuals in terms of their equality to opportunities. So higher levels of inequality can limit job access opportunities, and also in certain specific groups. I guess you remember we talked about we just identified now that we talk about this economically segregated groups of people. So income inequality rooted in history of exclusion during apartheid continues to limit economic opportunities for significant portion of our population in Mzansi. So we still have such individuals or such possibilities being problems. Political instability, governance can deter investors. That is of reducing it reduces foreign direct investment. It reduces foreign direct investment, obviously cutting on job creation, often caused because of corruption, leading to loss of investor confidence and further hindering job creation. These are challenges that we cannot overlook again. Global economic conditions, which are some recessions in major economies that impact on local job markets. These are also affecting our economic cycles, including global recessions, such as reduced demand for goods and services in which are sold, which countries are exporting. For example, our agri produce from South Africa actually becoming difficult to sell in foreign markets because of recessions and also other regulatory practices that are put into place. Technological advancement, also maybe number 13, we can say number 13, automation and technology can lead to job losses in certain sectors. Businesses investing in machinery to increase efficiency, which can result in mechanization and displacement of workers. So the number of people who can be hired when work is done manually versus when work is done by machines can never be the same. So what we need to understand is that technological advancement tends to limit the number of people, personal resources, of course, increasing in terms of production and efficiency, however, causing problems and challenges when it comes to to our life of our people's livelihoods. So we need to understand that understanding these causes is crucial for developing effective policies to reduce unemployment in South Africa. So we want to look at ways to reduce that. What are the ways? What ways can be put in place? Ways, strategies to combat unemployment, to control, to reduce to reduce unemployment. What strategies can be put in place to reduce unemployment? There are quite a lot of them. Let's just quickly look at these public works programs, which we identified that the government has to create a public works program, which we identified that temporary employment creation, which also comes with the skills development, community assets, and community assets for employment for employed individuals, mostly in the infrastructure, social, environment, and culture sectors. So the goal is to alleviate poverty. Poverty is reduced, unemployment through providing work opportunities and stipends. I'm sure that we have had people, students being given graduate trainees being given internship. These internship are designed to create income for young or for for upcoming professionals who are just school leavers, who are just varsity graduates. Thereby, that enhances long-term employability and contribution of those people to community development. So what we are saying is that our public works program, it actually exists to alleviate poverty and also empower people in skills development and also improving the standards of people, the standards of lives, support for small businesses, supporting small businesses, encouraging entrepreneurship, and providing support for small, medium-sized entrepreneurs. So therefore, we expand on investment. This also can also through government subsidies. They can have government subsidies, government paying for them, or we can talk about tax exemptions. Tax exemptions. So therefore, these people can have more money to invest in business, to do business, and therefore creating employment, creating. We talk about promotion. This also actually results in promotion. Promotion of what? Of investment. So obviously, what happens is what jobs are created at the end of the day. And then skills development, like in South Africa, we have got legislation, government, government legislation, or we can talk about acts, e.g., we have the Skills Development Act, the Skills Development, the Skills Development Act. What does it do? It focuses to equip people with skills needed in job market. It focuses on training of individuals, trainings, and also skills development. You understand? So therefore, what we are saying is that it is actually achieved even through public-private partnerships, government partnering with private companies to provide bursaries. They can provide sponsorship to students, sponsorship which enables students to go to school, enables students to accomplish in their academic races, that can also empower them in become employable. And then lastly, we want to talk about an employment insurance fund, which also can be a mitigation, which can also be a solution that can be put in place in terms of in terms of uh, measures to combat means to control unemployment and insurance employment. Unemployment insurance fund that I said that is called UIF. It is a financial support to South African workers who are temporarily unemployed and unable to work due to illness. They are going for maternity, they are on adoption or parental leave, as well as to dependents of deceased contributors that their parents, their guidance have been contributing, have been working and unfortunately, they are no longer there. They passed on. So families and individuals or beneficiaries are given the UIF to support them during those times of economic hardships in order for them to be able to survive. And then you need to understand that it is funded, it is actually contributed through the through the employer and employees, employee contribution, which we say that each one comes with what, with a percentage, and also an employer also puts in a percentage, which plus together it gives us a what, a 2% contribution. Uh, it offers various benefits, including unemployment. It also covers during times of illness. It also covers during times of maternity. It also even adoption and dependent benefits, and is governed by the South African legislation such as Unemployment Insurance Act. So what we are saying is that it's quite formal. It is so formal. It is approved and it is regulated. Hence, we are saying it is a what? A feasible solution, a feasible solution towards unemployment, towards problems of unemployment. So what we need to understand is that these are some of the points that we need to look at when we are talking and discussing about unemployment in South Africa. So please look at this. This is characteristics of unemployment, types of unemployment, causes of unemployment, and also solutions to unemployment in South Africa. So I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for connecting, and let's keep on doing it. I'm sure that your lives will never be the same. Let's share, like, and also comment in order for us to engage and empower each other. All the best. Keep connected. Don't miss. Don't lose temper. This is Matric Hub is there for you until your matric, and I promise you that the academic journey race will never be the same. No repeats, no failure. Let's do it now. Keep empowered. Thank you.